What's up guys, Mr. SLIN here with another video about competitive Team Fortress 2. I'm answering your questions that you post in the comments below, so if you have a question for me, post it down there and I might feature it in a future video. Today's question comes from Aaron, who asks, good habits to develop for AIM and DM? And Aaron, thank you so much for the question. This is a very common question that I get on my stream and also in my comments. How do you get better at AIM? How do you develop good DM? So a lot of people will jump straight into the game. A lot of people will jump straight to the practice. They'll jump straight into the playing. But I actually think that the best thing that you can do to start things off is to spend a lot of time doing the proper preparation. The preparation is almost as important as the actual practice itself. And probably the best thing that you can do is develop a routine that is regular and consistent, because you want your aim, like if you just pull back, the general principle is that you want your aim to be as consistent as possible. It's not about hitting a good headshot one in every 100 times. It's not about hitting, an amazing meat shot twice into a medic's back, once in a while. You want to be consistently doing it. I would rather be consistently doing okay than occasionally doing really well and occasionally doing really poorly. So everything that you do should be the same every time you do it. So developing those rituals, developing those regular patterns is very important. And when it comes to preparation, what I do is I make sure everything stays exactly the same every time. And that's something you can do, that's something I can do, because we're not playing at the top levels of the game. So we're not like traveling to events, we're not going to LANs. And when you go to LANs, probably one of the weirdest things when you first get there is that you have a different setup than you're used to. Maybe the table's a different height. Maybe you're using a different monitor. Maybe there's not as much room as you're used to. You're side by side with other people. The nice part about being home and playing from your house is that you get the same setup every single time. So what I do is I always keep my monitor in the same exact place. I always keep my mouse pad in the same exact place with my mouse and my mouse bungee set up so that way my mouse feels the same every time I play. And I also sit the same way, like my chair always at the same height. I sit off to the side a little bit and I tilt my keyboard at a certain angle, and everything, I just keep it this way. And I've been like doing it this way for so long that I don't think about it anymore. I don't have to like sit down and think, oh wow, this is weird. Whoa, I can't believe my mouse is over there this time. You just need to make sure that it's very consistent. And if for those of you guys out there who have difficulties setting that up, let's say you're playing on a laptop and you have to move places every single time, or you're sharing a computer with someone else, try your best to keep everything as much the same as you possibly can. That's the first step. The second step is when you're setting up your mouse. I mean, again, more into preparation. Make sure you're using the same mouse setup every time. A lot of people get into this idea, they get into their own head where they just keep changing everything. And I think that it's important to spend some time, like hours. I've spent days of my life trying to figure out what's the proper sensitivity for myself. And that's something that everybody goes through when they're first learning how to play an FPS game. And that's something you should go through as well, is figure out what the proper sensitivity is for yourself. And there's plenty of resources you can look at online for how to get really good aim. And there's not only TF2 resources, but like even the Counter-Strike resources are good too, because this TF2 is a source game. And there's a lot of stuff for you to look at for how to set the proper sensitivity. I think when it comes to TF2 versus Counter-Strike though, you probably want to pick a sensitivity that gives you a lot of turn speed, because unlike Counter-Strike where a lot of times you're spending, looking straight forward, trying to hit headshots, TF2, you don't have to hit as precisely unless you're playing Sniper or Ambassador Spy. You can kind of hit someone's general direction, and a lot of times turning and air strafing, and especially if you're playing Soldier or Demo Man or something like that, those can be like really important as well. So a lot of TF2 players go for like higher sensitivities than what they might go for in Counter-Strike. Me personally, I'm playing on 4.9-inch 360, which is very fast if you were playing Counter-Strike. But if you're serious about TF2, find a sensitivity that works for TF2 specifically, and then keep it. There was a point in time where over like 2 or 3 week period, I was adjusting my sensitivity by like small amounts because I was trying to get my sensitivity absolutely perfect. Again, that's something you should do as well. But once you find that sensitivity, once you find that perfect feel where the mouse feels like an extension of your arm and you don't even think about it anymore, stop. Don't touch it anymore. Stop worrying about the sensitivity, because you don't want to be obsessing about it. You just want it to remain the same. You want that consistency like I was talking about before. You want it when you sit down, you know where everything is. Your mouse is going to feel the same. Your keyboard is going to feel the same. If you keep changing things, it's difficult to build up that muscle memory. And so now you can see that all the preparation that we've been setting up is kind of leading towards the actual practice itself. And the practice is the part that you're going to be spending the most time doing. So after everything is set up, you need to spend a lot of time practicing aim, practicing your DM. And when you think about the pros in any FPS game, the top players have spent thousands of hours playing. And there's just no substitution for that. It's like I could talk to you all day about how to kick a soccer ball, but that's not going to be a good substitute for just going out there and kicking it for 1,000 passes. Go out there and do 1,000 passes right now, and like the accuracy you'll get and just learning how to use your foot properly. It's just like that whole thing needs to come through experience. So what's the best way to tackle that? Well, I look at practicing DM the same way that I think about studying. And I know you guys don't want to think about studying for those of you guys who are in school right now, but bear with me for a moment. Imagine you have a test in 2 weeks. What are you going to just sit around, wait for the test to come, and then cram for it? Probably not going to be as effective as studying a little bit every single day. And then that way your brain has time to comprehend it. When you go to sleep, like it filters into your subconscious, and your muscles just start remembering. Like there's a lot of similarities there. And I look at like my TF2 matches as that kind of test, right? That TF2 match against the next team, my rival team, that's going to test my abilities. That's going to test all the practice and preparation I've put into my game thus far. So I would prefer that you guys, my recommendation to you, practice like 15, 30 minutes a day. You don't need much more than 30 minutes a day, but every day you sit down, you hop into a DM server, you hop into an MGE server, whatever you want to do. But every day, just put in about 30 minutes and just practice shooting. You can talk to friends while you do it. Something that I used to do with my teammates. You hop into a Mumble channel with them or Discord, and you just talk to your buddies. Hey, how's your day going? How's life? The same stuff that you normally do when you're talking to your friends, but instead you're just practicing DM, just brainlessly. Just keep practicing it. You just want your hands and your right hand and your left hand just needs to kind of just start doing this mindless activity that you just get like into a real habit with. Me personally, I'm a medic main. I like DM, I like MGE to a certain extent, but I get kind of burnt out doing it. And something that I'm really passionate about, something that I really enjoy doing when I play TF2 is surfing. Some of you guys out there might also like jump maps. That's a great way to do it as well. I used to stream for like 3-4 hours at a time of just me surfing. And I would just talk to my stream and, I'm practicing air strafing, I'm practicing my movement, and somehow, some way that's seeping into my brain. And I know I'm kind of setting a bad example because I was saying that I was playing 3 or 4 hours at a time. And if you have the stamina, if you have the free time to play 3-4 hours a day, every day, go for it. But I think the average person who's watching this video is probably going to go for something a little bit more sustainable because maybe you're a casual player and you don't have all that time. But if you can just carve out X amount of time every day, something really sustainable, you don't want to burn out, something that you can just, a routine where you can just sit down, you just do it. I'm telling you, this is going to pay off for you in the long run, but this has to be like a long-term play for you. This has to be something that you're thinking about, okay, like I just want to play TF2 for the next year. It's going to be fun. Let's just sit down and just start practicing and start getting at it. And what you'll find is you'll make very quick progress. You're not going to see it day to day, but if you look back, you'll realize, wow, I got way better. And it's all thanks to Mr. SLIN for telling me that piece of advice. So the final thing, now you have the preparation, you have the setup, you know the methodology. Now let's get into the actual tactics. Let's get into the actual what is it that you should do with your time. If you're playing Scout, Soldier, Demo Man, my recommendation is to play DM servers. That was a recommendation that YZ50 gave the community, is play DM servers. DM servers are great because it's like a complex activity. It teaches you a lot of things. It's kind of like doing squats. It's going to work out multiple parts of your body. DM is going to work out multiple parts of your TF2 skills. Most importantly, it's going to work on your aim, but it's going to also help you work on your movement. It's going to help you with your awareness because you need to figure out who's around you. And you might be shooting one guy, but you might be getting shot in the back next. So you got to be really careful about your awareness. It also helps you figure out focus fire, paying attention to what your teammates are shooting at so that you can shoot the same thing too and focus fire those frags. So I really like DM personally. It's also got a good mix of different classes. So you're gonna figure out how to go up against scouts, soldiers, demomen. You're gonna get a wide variety of things to go up against. If you're not a big fan of DM, or if you're looking for some really focused practice, if you're looking for something to mix it up, you can do MGE. I like MGE because it helps me train my one-on-ones, but I find that when I'm actually playing in game, I'm not taking one-on-ones that often. But if you're looking to be an invite player, you got to be able to beat people in those one-on-ones. So yeah, if someone's looking at you and you're looking at them, that's something to practice as well. And then finally, there's no substitution for actually just playing the game itself. So if you're a pubber, play pubs. If you're a Highlander player, play Highlander. Sixes player should play sixes. But play the game because you need to also learn that game sense as well. That game sense is going to take time to develop. So you're going to need to practice that as well. So I hope this was really helpful to you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you have questions for me, don't forget to post them in the comments down below. Join our Discord server, discord.gg/MrSlin. That's where all of us are coming together as a community, exchanging ideas, talking about competitive. I hope you guys join us over there as well. And as always, have a great day. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.